Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. It is the end of week 8 for the UFL, and what a week it was. We finally got some clinching scenarios. First one that we got DC finally clinching. What a game that finished out to be. St. Louis is in. They clinched with their win. Michigan has clinched, and Birmingham has clinched. I believe that Houston cannot get in at this point. I think it would just take something wild I don't think that they can get in. Houston's out, Arlington's out, everybody's out. So our playoffs are set. Unfortunately for the UFL, these home teams like DC and Michigan have to move from where they're supposed to be to play these games, which is kind of ridiculous. UFL needs to get it together as far as like making sure that there's potential availability for these stadiums going forward. That would be fantastic for the league and for everyone else. But what a great weekend of football. I know you guys watch me and I do some betting, and normally you see me in a shirt and tie, but it is casual day to day for me. I've got my got a football jersey on, got my Aaron Rodgers jersey on because, yes, I'm a Rodgers fan, and a Green Bay Packers hat on because I will be doing NFL in the fall. But this weekend's all about the UFL. We got our playoff matchup set. What a finish for today's game. That was kind of crazy. We'll recap the games here in just a moment. I want to thank I got a few viewers in here. I just want to say thank you for joining. As you guys know, I do this stream every Sunday after the games are over on Sunday. So next Sunday, however, I do have an event, and I will not be having a live stream. I will be going to see professional wrestling here in Phoenix, Arizona. I know it's a big deal, but my stream will be out. And I just want to do a recap of the games here from last weekend. I have 4 people in the chat right now, so thank you for joining me, like I said. Let's take a look here. Let's recap Friday's games. For those that go betting, on one of my last 7, I did hit today. That was kind of nice. Let's see if I can pull up the recaps here. Friday's game, we had Memphis, San Antonio. It was the battle of the bad. I liked San Antonio. I'm sorry, I should say. I thought Hogan would get them through, and man, he did not play well. 3 interceptions. Showboats. We didn't know what they were going to do at quarterback. The line was 1.5. Game goes to overtime. Memphis pulls it out, 2 wins. That's great for them. Both these teams, I know what their records are saying, but I haven't seen anything as far as in this league, as far as just what's awful and what's amazing. It doesn't feel like a lot of these teams have been blown out. I thought we go back to week 1, Houston was going to have some serious problems. But as we see, we were able to get that in order. I thought Houston could have made a playoff run. I really liked how they were getting it together and getting it vibing. Again, I think it appears that the stability of this league is based on quarterback play, which is true with any football team. But we saw, it was just kind of here and there game on Friday. All the games this weekend were pretty close. I mean, with the exception of the Michigan game. But what we I don't know why ESPN's not giving me the stats, is just kind of giving me the scores. But Friday's game, it was good. It was good. It came down to, like I said, when it comes down to overtime, we like to see those kinds of things. And unfortunately, we just we have to have 2 teams that are out of it. There's really no playoff suspense for the next 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy unless you want to do some kind of seeding. But even with the seeding, the UFL has it to where these games are set where they're going to be. I mean, I'm a Stallions fan, and Birmingham just gets to play that game at home, and I feel you got to earn it. And it goes like in the NFL, they're having this discussion. It's going to come to a meeting next week, pardon me, to where they're going to say, well, the 4 division winners are going to make the playoffs, but maybe we should reseed them based on record. And had that been the case, the Minnesota Vikings would have had a home game for sure last year. That makes a world of difference. And instead, they got bounced in the first round. I don't feel sorry for the Vikings, but what's fair is fair. So, like it's a great game on Friday. Showboats, didn't quit. Brahmas didn't quit, but I think that team lost its identity with Wade Phillips stepping down. I mean, this was a team that was in the UFL championship last year, and then to just completely have this 1-7 season and completely collapses. It's unprecedented, even if it is an amateur. I don't want to say amateur. Even if it's a league where there's not a lot of long-term contracts, things seem to be year to year. The coaching staffs tend to stay in place. I mean, Skip Holt, Bob Stoops, Wade Phillips. But we've had some flip, going on here as well. Mike Nolan's been in Michigan. So the coaching staffs are remaining intact. But as far as what we're seeing with quarterback situations here, it's been here and over there. So good game on Friday, though. Goes to overtime. I've seen some mixed reviews on the Friday night games. I think if you got double the teams in this league, if you got 16 teams, then we can definitely talk about having more of a Friday night game. A family member of mine is all about the Friday night football, so he loves it. He can come home from work and just relax and watch a game. But I do think that if the UFL gets the right ownership, The Rock I don't know if he's busy or if he's just not as engaged anymore, if he's a silent partner, whatever the case may be. But there definitely needs to be more league promotion. There definitely needs to happen. And because we're fans and we want to see these games and we want people to go to the games. There's in the chats and stuff like that, people are just like, where's the crowds? Where's the crowd? St. Louis showed out. They showed out in Washington for the Beer Snake. God bless them. And they can show out in San Antonio, but I think because the team's lousy, people just aren't going to spend the money, even though they can just go out and have a good time. But Friday's game, like I said, went to overtime. Leads us into our doubleheader Saturday. I know a lot of fans were irritated with 2 games being on Fox at the same time, and the regional map was crazy. I mean, if you lived in Michigan, if you lived kind of in the Great Lakes area, you were getting the Panthers. In Texas, you were getting the Roughnecks. The whole state of Texas was getting the Roughnecks, whether you liked it or not. And the rest of the country got Birmingham and St. Louis, as that was probably the game of the week. I mean, even with the Battlehawks winning, and that game was crazy. I mean, they played sloppy. Birmingham somehow is getting it done on their 5th quarterback. The score, I mean, it came down to the end. They fumbled the ball. Sloppy football, it's kind of strange because it feels like later in the season, the points are going up, but the sloppiness is there. And that's usually not how it works when you're going midway through a season. But, both quarterbacks played pretty decent, but there were some sloppy plays as well. I mean, Deion Kane just went off. Hakeem Butler, I think Max Duggan should go to him at least. He should get at least 15 targets. I'm not even being crazy. 15 targets. Make defenses try and cover him. They've got other options with Sailors in the backfield. I mean, they can move the ball, and St. Louis is a team that I think is good, but I just don't feel they're elite. It feels like they're something. I don't know if it's in the air. I don't know if it's defensively or their inability to close a game, but it just feels like St. Louis just kind of struggles. As Funny Main, who's an Alabama YouTuber, says, struggle win. That's what this is. It's a struggle win for sure. But nonetheless, they pulled it off. They're going to the playoffs. That's all I think these teams care about. But that was the game of the week. On the other side, I liked Houston getting 6.5 points, but Michigan everybody was confused because Bryce Perkins did not play. They just Mike Nolan insists on putting Danny Etling in there, and we don't know why. But Danny Etling played a great football game. So I'm wondering if it's a private disciplinary thing, or if Michigan feels that they were in such control that they could afford to lose a game here. I know that's a bad euphemism, but you never know how teams are going to behave, what their mindsets are, how they're going to feel. But nonetheless, it was Michigan all day long, regardless of what that score says. I mean, Houston just so inconsistent. I thought that they would be a nice little long shot. Had they gotten the playoffs, I think they could have made a serious run. But their season's over, and we're going to see how these teams pan out for next week. I mean, like I said, I just don't see any major playoff implications to be played for the remaining 2 weeks. So I think you're going to see a lot of changes with position players that are playing. I think you're going to see maybe a rest in the final week because there's no bye weeks in the UFL. But I do think that I think Birmingham's got a little bit of a sore ass from what happened to them. And I think that their game next week against Michigan is going to might still be a little dandy, But it was unfortunate that both those games were on at the same time, and you as the viewer didn't really have a choice. It's not like Red Zone or Sunday Ticket where you're able to just flip to the other unless you live within region. But good game for Birmingham. But St. Louis finished off, just fumbled at the end. I mean, they had that winning drive going on. A lot of people were blaming Holtz for not taking that field goal. or for taking the field goal instead of going for it. But you got to trust your defense sometimes. And they still had an opportunity to go down there and get the field goal and get the win. So I'm not going to put that fully on the coaching staff, but I do think that Birmingham's fine. I think they're going to be fine. It's crazy when you're on QB5. Magoo's still inactive. Coral's not coming back. And Case Cookis just ain't the guy. So I'm ready for next week's matchups. I think they're going to be really good. And the good news is, as the UFL is starting to wind down, Canadian football, I don't know how many of you are Canadian football fans, but CFL is getting ready to fire up here. So we'll still have football to get us through the rest of the summer. I mean, it's baseball season. Tonight there's a game 7 for the NBA. So if there's, basketball fans out there that want to watch the NBA, by all means, that's what you're going to watch today. But there is still football to be made, and there's still now CFL I do consider a minor league compared to the NFL, and that's just because of their style of play. 3 downs, men in motion before the snap going forward, and rude points or rouge points. I don't know how they pronounce it, but just because you can kick the ball out of the back of the end zone, we're going to give you a point. We'll see. I think a part of that UFL adaptation is because of putting the ball in play on kickoffs. It seems to have worked. It doesn't seem like anybody's getting any crazy yardage. And it's somewhat of a strategy for kickers to make sure that you get it in that landing zone. So you do have to have a little more skill than just booming it out of the back of the end zone. So good job there with the UFL. But great doubleheader on Saturday. I know that we got doubleheaders next week. I think the doubleheader's on Saturday as well. I'm going to look at the schedule here momentarily. And then we get to today's game, Arlington, DC. It was DC minus 2.5, and I loved it. Arlington had to win this game. Oh, man. Flags galore. A lot of people are complaining about the super challenges because of holding penalties, taking points off the board, and irrelevant penalties that are missed by refs that are going to normally count. I mean, DC was going to run away with it. And Arlington took points off the board. I mean, I'm not mad at Bob Stoops for making that decision. The king of the super challenges, it seems, but it paid off. But, man, if you're a fan, that's a serious momentum killer if you believe in momentum. I personally don't believe in momentum because it can be taken away or you can take it at any moment. So it's not real. It's psychological. And the ability to have mental toughness when it comes to sports and understand what you're doing and understand, hey, bad things happen. We're just going to make up for it on the next play. We're going to go out there and do what we need to do to try to win these games. To hell with the play that just happened. If a coach can get the mindset of his players to say, we cannot fix what just happened, as unfortunate as it is, instead of dwelling on it, the quicker you can process this and get on to the next play is going to make you a very strong football team in a very tough out. It's almost the same way, kind of like in a relationship. If you screw up, just own it and move on. Don't dwell on it. Don't live there because you'll never grow as a person, right? So you want to be able to just deal with it in that moment and then get ready for the next moment. And once you're able to do that, you're showing resiliency. You're showing leadership. You're showing the other team that you can't be punked out. You're showing the league and the national TV audience and your fans, hey, man, we got to own it, but we can't let that dictate our pace the rest of this game. We have a brand new down to deal with, whether it's a turnover or some craziness, a kick six, or a kick return or a pick six or anything along those lines, any big plays, let them happen. After it happens, acknowledge it and then get ready for the next play. And any coach that successfully embeds that mindset into its players, I've just beat that horse, they're going to be tough to go. And it seemed to be the case today with the defenders. I mean, Arlington appeared to have gotten multiple calls go their way. And DC was sloppy on offsides penalties, which will make any coach or player pull their hair out of their head. It's just craziness going on out there. But DC held them off. I mean, Arlington kept counterpunching and got to stop there late in the game. Made DC punt the ball. There was a penalty on the punt. Just a ridiculous amount of penalties against the defenders. And Arlington got cute with that false start. There was 10 seconds left, or 18 seconds. We're on the clock down. Thought they were going to do the Marino fake spike, but it was interesting that they were going to do that on an out route. If you got that much time, you need to throw it in the air deep and just, if you're going to run that. I'm not personally a fan of that. If your kicker's good from 50-plus yards in this situation and you need the points, I mean, that's your entire season. Arlington's out because they didn't execute that play. So that's why you want to have better play throughout the game. And they had officials help them. I don't want to say help them, but calls more win against DC. But to end your season on a fake spike pick, it's crazy. I mean, because now you got to live with it for the week. I mean, you still have 2 weeks of games to play, but you also have to, your season's over, so it's going to be really hard for them to get up next week. You know what I mean? They're going to have to figure out exactly how are they going to recover from that? Because when you put all that energy into games and you put all of it into what you're trying to accomplish and get into the playoffs, and just to have it let down like that, it's just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Crazy ending, big win. I'm going to take a look here and see what we got for the lines for next week. If they're up, I know it's kind of crazy. I mean, the NBA game is on right now. Let me just give me just a moment, guys. Got 4 viewers right now. Just want to say thank you for that. Let's see if we can pull it up on our phone. It's usually better. But it's been a great season. The games have gotten better as the season's gone along, and that's exactly what you want to see. As a football fan, I know it started slow, and everybody's concerned about, that gap from the Super Bowl, that 6 weeks gap before the UFL starts. And because of that, I think that UFL really has to look at that. Doesn't appear the lines are posted yet. I'm going to check another sports book here, so bear with me. But if not, I'll just go do a super quick preview on next week's games regardless, because I could pull up the schedule. Let's see if we got our... No, there's nothing yet. So let's just look at the schedule here for next week. How you guys doing out there? No comments yet. Anybody want to say hello or anything along those sorts? Just want to thank you guys for joining up. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm having a really irritating time with the microphones. I've been having problems with that, but we're going to go and check this out. All right, so here we are. Here's our lineup for week 9 next week. Memorial Day week also, by the way. I hope you guys have a happy Memorial Day and take that extra day off if you're in America. Gotta love America, land of the free, home of the Whopper, all that good stuff. But our first game, Friday night, banger, St. Louis at San Antonio. I wonder if these games you're going to be a little bit asleep at the wheel when you don't really have much to play for as far as San Antonio except your dignity. And we're going to see if St. Louis is going to play their starters. Again, you want to get your guys reps and get them ready for that playoff, because the playoff is everything. But that's our preview for us for Friday. And I was correct. We have a doubleheader on Saturday. Both the games are on ABC. Arlington at Memphis is the first game. Neither one of these teams have anything to play for. I think Luis Perez is going to go out there, though, and really show what he's all about. But, I mean, Memphis can move the ball. I mean, it was pretty interesting to see what happens. I mean, they're coming off a win, and Arlington's coming off a loss. So that might be – I don't think too much of this stuff carries over into the next week, but we'll see how Memphis plays. They're at home. If you live in Memphis, if you live in that Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, tri-state area by the Mississippi River, you are not doing anything next Saturday. Holiday weekend. Get your butt out there. Get out there. Go to the Liberty Bowl and see the football game. This is the time. It's spring. You want to get out there. Enjoy the weather before it gets crazy. What else are you going to do? You can barbecue on Sunday and you're still off work Monday. So go take a friend. Tickets are going to be cheap. I'm sure you can find promos for them. And that leads me into Saturday primetime game. Well, primetime, 3 o'clock Eastern. Noon kickoff out west. That's Michigan at Birmingham. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be spicy, I think, because these two teams are going to see each other again after this. Alabama, if you're in Birmingham area, Tuscaloosa, Jasper, Warrior, anywhere around Alabama, Hoover, even Montgomery. It's a holiday weekend. Go up to Birmingham. Get to the stadium. If you're a student at UAB, right before you go home for the holidays, school may be out. I don't even know. Perfect time to go out there. If you got kids, it's a holiday weekend. Get out to the ballpark. Get out there, Birmingham. I know there ain't nothing going on there this weekend. I got family from that area. I know what's going on. You just hanging out with your friends. Go have a few beers at the ballpark. Go enjoy 2 good football teams. Maybe you'll see Bryce Perkins play. Maybe you won't. But it'd be a good time if you get out to the ballpark. And then Sunday is DC at Houston. I'm curious, like, this is the game where I'm most curious on the line. Houston's got, they've got pride, and they've really battled more than anybody else this season, I think. I mean, I know it sounds cliche and things along those lines, but it feels like Houston went out there and really gave it their all this season. DC coming off a big win. Could be kind of a situation, to where there may be a little bit of a letdown, especially with Houston getting embarrassed last week. But pardon the dog. But we'll see how it goes. And Houston is just going to go out there and I think give it their all. And it might be a closer game than we think. I mean, is Jordan Ta'amu going to play? I mean, he's looking like the league MVP. Ta'amu is looking like the league MVP. I'm sure that I think he's taking that away from Perkins, because if Perkins was the league MVP, I think we would have seen him play it last week. So I think that Bryce Perkins situation, something happened. We just don't know about it, but we got some great UFL games that are going to be coming on next week. Season's in full swing. I mean, next week is a holiday weekend. Make sure you guys enjoy it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I just want to say thanks so much. We're going to end the stream. And remember, no stream next Sunday. I might do one Saturday. That might be what I do after the game Saturday, because I won't be able to go over Sunday. I do have a busy day. And I want you guys to enjoy your weekend. And thank you so much for tuning in Just Pulse Sports. If you want to get 125% deposit off your first 3 deposits at BetUS, feel free to shoot me anything in the comments or shoot me a DM, and I will get you set up. I've got a link for you. So if you deposit $100, you get 125% of that deposit for your first 3 deposits. No other offshore book does that. BetUS has been around for 40 years. It's the amazing bookkeep that's close to Circa in Las Vegas. So if you're serious about betting, let me know. I'll hook you up with that discount, and we will get you all set. Thank you guys so much, and have a great week.